Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Hope you're all doing well, exceedingly well, blessed and highly favored. And let's see what message we have today. I guess I should start by saying I wasn't sure if I was going to share. I'm definitely going to post it on the community tab if by now that you're watching this, I haven't already. But I was watching Andre 3000's GQ interview that just released today. And it was just such a sudden surprise on my timeline because there was a message that I posted. I don't even know what message it was, but it was some time ago now, and something random I said that didn't even really have anything to do with the message was that I was actually praying for Andre I said that he was one of the people on my eternal prayer list, or my supreme prayer list, along with Dave Chappelle and some other honorable mentions, that when he went away, I prayed that he would make a return creatively because I just think he has a powerful presence and voice. And then lo and behold, I see this interview pop up today, and I was so excited I was actually getting ready for this message, so that was even more crazy that right before I would see that on the timeline, and I clicked on it right away to see, because it was talking about him, talking about a new album and, this and that, like just pretty much like, you don't see many interviews with him anymore these days. So I tuned in, and it was something completely different, as is the album that he is delivering to the people, completely different than probably what anyone really was expecting. He's been much more on an earthy vibe, like very free-spirited with his flute and his wind instruments and things of that nature. And I know that, and I knew that, but I wondered if maybe perhaps this album would be incorporating that, but also be rap. And in fact, it's not. It's not rap at all. So, it was intriguing to me. First of all, as I said, his presence alone is inspiring and it's profound. Something he said as a quote from Prince after a show that they did at Coachella some years ago is he said, Prince called him up and said, "You know what your problem is? I don't think y'all know how big you are. You got to remind people how big you are." And it's amazing to me the humility that he expresses in his artistic expression, and also just naturally sharing his experience as a person, outside of the artistry, and even his issues with, well, I dare not say issues. I was going to say struggle, but I was trying to find a better word than that. I don't think issues is any better, but the reality of anxiety, of social anxiety for him, that is something that he contends with in real time. And it's just, I don't know, like, I don't want to belabor the point, but anyway, the first thing about it was the fact that he has this album at all, when I just said something about him not too long ago, but then it is something that's so unexpected, but is right in the vein of where he is, so honestly, organically. And it just spoke to me to just say, don't be afraid to evolve and express that evolution honestly and without inhibition. He's not worried about how he's going to be received or rejected, which, to some degree, I'm sure there's an undertone of thoughtfulness regarding that, knowing that you were once a rapper, or still is. My own personal projection is that he'll find the inspiration to bridge the two at some point in time. And maybe this is the gateway that he needed to release this creativity honestly and openly, and kind of maybe even liberate himself from the expectation, the fanfare and the build up for Andre 3000, even from me, to come back and bless us all with another rap album. Now he gets to release what he feels comfortable doing, and then perhaps maybe it'll all flow naturally, you know, for it to come together as one whole package of him, because it's not that it's not a part of him, but that's just not where his creativity is flowing in this moment organically. And I respect that. And it's such as he is, a profound message to those that are in the industry and those that are not, to really stay true to yourself, because someone like him, that's easily top 5 of your favorite rappers, depending on who you ask, you know, that has taken some time away from the business, away from the limelight, and has now had the courage to reemerge in the creativity that is true to him, is no small feat, particularly in the world of celebrity, but just in general. You know, we're all evolving and growing in some new ways that have been, you know, surprising to even us, you know, let alone the anxiety that it may induce to express it freely without fear of rejection or just misunderstanding at the bare minimum, you know. So I'm going to post it, but I think, you know, ultimately this is your sign as I post that message and as I'm speaking this now, to allow yourself to evolve without apologies, without inhibitions, and then express that evolution fearlessly, because the world needs it. Now, he might not necessarily sell millions, you know, it might not, or I guess it's downloads now because it wouldn't be millions of records, but even that part of the business has changed, you know, like he might not necessarily have do the same numbers that he did way back when in quantity, but the quality of the listener that he's engaging and attracting now is probably something much more valuable to him, and also to the ones that are tuning in, even myself. Whereas I had an expectation that when he did finally come back, it would be just some higher evolved expression of rap, some poetry or something, you know. I knew it would be next level, but this is just literally a whole nother level. But for me, in the spiritual place that I'm in now, he probably is, I'm right in my vein, you know what I mean? And it's someone that I've appreciated for his artistry in one regard. And I know that I would absolutely appreciate the honesty of his art in this new expression as well. So it's more, you know, the expression of quality is far more priceless now, no matter what the popular projection may be, than anything that you could do just to please the masses or just to meet expectations. You know, he could do himself a great disservice throwing a rap album out when he's not even really in that vein right now, and then it be rejected after all this time, not because it wasn't good, because a lot of times people in their fickle selves just will pick things apart just because they can, you know, and then it wasn't even what he wanted to do in the first place, and then he get knocked down altogether from creating anything of value because he didn't do it in integrity. And a lot of times when I know I'm talking a lot, but I feel like I got to get this out. A lot of times when I'm talking about a righteous path, it's not about religion. It's about doing what is honorable to what is honoring your needs and desires, what's honoring your spirit, where you are honestly, where you are in this present moment, what brings you joy, what brings you life, what drives your passion, what brings you peace. All of those things are wrapped up in what he does now. Rap is the very opposite of that. It's just what everybody else would want of him, you know? So it's just really a powerful message. I think it's now more than ever before, where we could be persuaded really and truly to kind of veer off the path of our passion, off the righteous path, dare I say, into things that are more palatable to the masses or to societal constructs of success, or what's normal or what's acceptable in the conformities of our own comfort zones, you know, but only what you do for the Christ in you will last, you know, if you can get into that. that North Node energy, that aspect of you, as I said, that's the righteous path, following that star that's guiding the way, that's shining all its own because it's unique to you. It's completely separate from any other star in the sky. Your guiding light that is pure, you know, is the presence of you in spirit in a human spirit in the human form. And if all that matters, if you only do what matters for that energy to continue to illuminate that energy, and also to fuel it, you know, to satisfy it in some regard, then you've lived a righteous life. It really doesn't matter what anybody else has to say about it, good, bad, or indifferent. So big up to him. Like I said, I'm gonna post it on the community tab. I'll even tag it under this video somewhere in the description box or the comments. But it's never a coincidence as to why I see what I see before I'm in this space. So take it as you will, and thank you for listening. Let's see what we got. All right, we got the Page of Cups, which is it's a message. It's definitely a message of an emotional expression. It could be love, it could be admiration, it could be an apology, it could be let's see, what else could it be? Could be condolences. It could be a couple of things. So let's see what we got here as to where this is going. And we'll see what comes up, because the Page of Cups, you know, it's childlike energy, it's water vibes. So it could be any array of emotional expression, but it just really depends on who is offering the communication and the willingness of or I should just say, like, the transmutation of the receiver, you know, how it's being actually received. So let's see what we got here. Oh, that was the Ace of Swords. That's interesting. It could be some clarity. All right, let's see. And now, then we got the Ten of Wands. I'm not going to go too hard on the bottom of the deck because I don't want to be too long, given I kind of gave a whole little soliloquy. Freaking, what do you call it? Not a dissertation, a monologue at the beginning. Ten of Wands is the end of some burden, some cycle, and the Lover's card. So now, and then we got the Four of Cups. Someone, maybe this is apologies for a missed opportunity or regret for a missed opportunity. Empress card here, yeah. So maybe somebody missed out on a chance with a real one. Three of Pentacles, some collaborative experience, and yeah, it's the end of some collaboration, or yeah. And then we got stability or house with the Four of Wands. So maybe on account of somebody not being a yes to whatever this offer was, they just, I don't know, it just seems like they missed out on a great deal of goodness from one seeming, well, I won't say bad decision, but yeah, well, maybe I will. Like, I'm not going to take any of this, but maybe I will. You know, Ten of Wands, King of Swords, a strong decision maker who's pretty definitive. And what's this? And the Page of Wands, that's maybe on account of, yeah, this action led into, I said I wasn't going to do this, right? But I guess it's what I'm supposed to do, so bear with it. Whatever this decision to take some action led to more conflict, perhaps inner conflict, which ultimately escalated into a burden, you know, a struggle of some sort. All on account of, it's like one choice can completely change the entire, the whole trajectory of your life. Devil card. me sit up a little bit. I'm not taking it. Am I taking any of this? See, I guess so. So we got the, oh, these are upside down too. Wow, okay. This is where we are, so I'm just gonna roll with it. So we got the Four of Pentacles, I'm sorry, the Four of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles. Now let's see what this is. Then we have someone is not protected or not able to defend themselves in some regard and not receiving good news. Like I said, like, my God. So what's the Ace of Pentacles? And then we're at the Ten of Swords. This is not, and what's this? And the Emperor. This is some major instability that someone is experiencing, again, just on account of this decision. There's poor health here, poor in spirit with the Five of Pentacles. But why is the Ace in the middle? Oh, so they made it, okay. So there was a decision. That's the difference in, this is what I'm feeling like. Remember, we started with the Page of Cups. So there was a decision that was made at that stage emotionally, you know, that an offer that was rejected or someone felt rejected in. But I feel like this person was doing more of the rejecting because it felt too small. That's what it was. That's what I'm sensing, because the pages are, of course, like the childlike energies, or just like that young, immature energy, underdeveloped perhaps. So he rejected that remember I said it depends on the receiver and how they perceive that offering or that message. I really said message, but it could, with the cups, it could very well even be an offer. It could be love. It could be whatever it is. He didn't see that as something valuable to receive or to entertain in whatever way. So then we got the Four of Cups here, where in actuality, it turns out that was something of a much higher vibration that was passed up on when it's coming from the Ace frequency, which would be the Ace of Cups. But that wasn't perceived in the moment of the offering. You know, it wasn't seen that way. So it's like he didn't know what he was actually rejecting. And that led to, that decision led to I'm hearing a series of unfortunate events, ultimately. It was in pursuit to this Ace of Pentacles, like this divine opportunity and material manifestation. But what this is also represented for me in the Ace of Pentacles is that there was yet another opportunity presented for something that was of high value. Like, he wasn't with the love, so it's like, all right, you're not feeling the love. All right, well, how about this? You know, since you were, this is a pursuit of material, right? Feeling like you're poor in substance and in the physical sense, and this is what the ideal was, to get to this unlimited expression of wealth. So it's like Spirit said, all right, you don't want that? Well, I got this for you. How will you receive that? They still didn't want that. they still saw it. It's like their perspective of everything that the Spirit was offering was just jaded, just completely like flipped upside down somehow, some way. And with the Seven of Wands here, upright, that's like standing your ground, protecting your energy, you know, just being guarded in a way that you value your own energetic force. But it's like the decisions that he made did the very opposite of that. It left him vulnerable to these, again, more of a detriment here with betrayal, backstabbing, perhaps even perhaps sabotaging himself on account of a perspective that was just jaded. You know, that's the best way I can say it. Just jaded. With the Page of Pentacles upside down, it's like he turned his nose up at that. You know, like that wasn't good enough either. Like, what? This is how he saw it, as not only a page as opposed to an Ace of Pentacles, completely what do you call it, already a bit insulting, but upside down, like almost having no value at all. You know, so yeah. And then we have the Emperor here, some head of household. Well, at least he thought he was, but it seemed like the house is turned on him. That's what I'm getting from this energy here. Like he thought he had established himself in a position of power that was more suitable for his ego. Let's just put it plainly, because this is a whole lot of ego right here. Like the Spirit's offering you the Ace of Cups and you're like, nah, that ain't enough for me. Then the Spirit comes back again and says, all right, well, how about the Ace of Pentacles? And you're like, nah, I'm good on that. Like, I want to do some other things. So much so that you put yourself in harm's way. It's kind of like he lost the protection. Some protection was lost here. Probably just on account of continuously kind of like spitting in the Spirit's face. But this is someone that is not, this is someone very vulnerable. Not only vulnerable, what it also is, because when you're standing your ground with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like you like stand for something or you fall for anything. And that's kind of what it was. It's like while he was rejecting things that were of value, he was positioning himself to be more vulnerable to things that were actually to his detriment, i.e. here with the Five of Pentacles, and even here with this upside down Page of Pentacles, where it presents itself to be shiny, but it's like a chocolate coin. You know? It's like, not only can you not spend it, but the substance itself is not even really holistically good for you. This is the solid gold coin right here. But you said, nah, like I'm good on that. So, and you know what? It's definitely giving me in the vein of what I was talking about with Andre and like the expectations of the industry and kind of getting swept away into all of that. It's like the pursuit of these false expectations. Like I said, ego, very ego driven, like nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's satisfying enough. Even when it's coming from a pure place, it's like you prefer to have what everyone else has, because that's what this energy is here. The Seven of Wands, you're supposed to be standing up beyond the fray, above the fray. And this is like somebody that really just wants to be a part of the crowd, you know, that literally wants to keep up with the Joneses, chasing after that pentacle, you know, that gold nugget. And then you get the opportunity to have it in some way, shape, or form. And your perspective is so skewed that when it's offered to you, like you can't even see a good thing when it's right in front of you, when you're in a certain mind space or in a certain spirit, dare I say here, about success. You know, it's an inflated ego here. So he established himself, it seems to me, I would say, on a house built on sand. He established some expression of success in the way that it seemed popular to him, or most appealing, perhaps maybe most gratifying, maybe to the senses. But it ended up being a betrayal to even himself, or the house itself became, it wasn't what he thought it was going to be. You know, what seemed like a good idea, something, a firm foundation, something that he could really you know, hang his hat on, ultimately seems like it ended quite viciously with the Ten of Swords. So, yeah, and what's this? Wheel of Fortune, karma. And so that pretty much comes down to what he was, you know, what he was rejecting, which was a viable offer, you know, at least something to be respected and appreciated. Because I don't get the sense that it was just about the fact that it was a no thank you. See how his arms are crossed and now here he's upside down. It's like, and looking at the Page of Pentacles, like I know I talk about the pages a certain type of way, but this is giving it no value at all. Like, what? Get that out of here. You know, like I'm better than that type of vibe. That's the energy, especially with the Emperor card. That's what it's giving me, that it was the attitude behind the rejection, you know, that was a poor spirit, you know, poor form, ill-mannered, you know, especially unto the spirit, like almost a disgrace to the spirit, or just, like I said, just disrespectful, you know. And that's the reason for the turnaround as it is with the Ten of Swords. Not because we have the will to say no, but it was what came behind that no, maybe perhaps even actions that solidified that no to be something even more low vibrational than just wanting to go a different route. You know, it's like you had to dig your heels and not just say no, but actually scoff, maybe even perhaps project some negative energy toward, you know, something extra. It feels like something extra here. You know, it's not just the surface of like, oh no, I don't want that, or oh no, that's not enough for me, because that would be fine in itself. But there's something extra here, some response or reaction to these offers. Like I get the sense that it's like, because this is the energy I feel. It's like him in that Emperor position, like, how dare you type of energy. Like, how dare you come to me with such a low ball offer, you know, but not just almost being offended by feeling disgraced in some way, but it's not really, it wasn't really a disrespectful offer or really a disgrace. It's his own inflated ego that is his own enemy in the end, you know, because it's like, just be grateful that you get any offer at all, especially as far as the spirit is concerned. And then to get a second, and look, he's back out again. I didn't even realize that. Then to get a second offer is something, is this no, it's the Three of Wands. It's like, yeah, he has an expectation for something way more, which ultimately it's like he wasn't even enlightened to receive. And when it came down to it, so his expectations were far greater than what he was in the vibration for, truly. So, yeah, and what he was willing to even work for. So it's like a grave imbalance, you know, like the nerve of this man to feel like, and it wasn't just the attitude of it, but something was done, especially with this Two of Swords. Yeah, against the World card, like he tried to take matters into his own hands. It's like it wasn't enough to just say no thank you. It's like some energy he felt he needed to exert to really drive the point home that not only am I going to say no thank you, but I'm actually going to show that you should, like, almost to prove a point, like, don't even ever think about offering me such a thing again. Oh, okay. I'm getting something different now. Okay. So remember I said, okay, now this is about to go a different way, and not really, but it's about to get a little more detailed. I said that the Page of Cups was an emotional offer, perhaps a love offer that he scoffed at, right? It's like, and now when I'm talking about keeping up with the Joneses, okay, I'm hearing it now. So somebody offered him their love, right? And he looked at that offering like it was piss in a cup. Let's just call it what it is. He looked at the offering as piss in the cup, and or he got swayed. He's been glamorized by, this is somebody that's glamorized by appearances, by aesthetics, by what things look like. You know what I mean? Like, similar to what I was talking about with Andre, you know, who was the opposite of that, clearly. But this is somebody that was chasing that remember, that golden pinnacle. And with the Four of Wands, which came out as well, sometimes I see that as like the appearance of this happy home, happy life type of vibe. This is that guy. Like, his ego is such that he measures himself more by what people see him as than what he actually is, if that makes sense. It matters more to him to be seen as someone who has the Ace of Pentacles and maybe has, you know, the hot girl on his arm and has the dream job and drives the fancy car, you know, literally keeping up with the Joneses, whatever, you know, at least within the current of what other people that he respects or looks at a certain type of way is exhibiting, okay? Literally the shininess of it all. So somebody was offering some love and affection that in his eyes seemed menial. It wasn't enough for him to just say no thank you, say perhaps even amidst of his friends or his community or whatever it is that he surrounded himself with. There was some energy projected even amongst those friends or amongst the peers here, because where this is like standing out, this is being completely consumed by the crowd with the Seven of Wands in the reverse. He was influenced by others in his circles, maybe others that were glamorized too by celebrity or stardom or fame, fortune, whatever the case, clout, whatever it may be, that wasn't enough. You know, so he took the advice. Three of Cups here. This is what everybody else looks like. He took the advice. Like, yeah, you're right. I could do better than that. And it's like, all right, well, here's it coming back around again. Or even still just went to chase money, period. But it mattered to him for whatever reason to drive the point home, not only just to say like, all right, nah, you right. That ain't me. This is somebody that maybe joined in on scrutinizing that offer, you know, laughing, joking, like, yeah, she this, she that, you right. Like, first he was entertaining it, and then somehow he became a part of it, somehow, some way. And I don't know how that gets to be other than someone that's just pouring spirit, you know, but you must be in order to get swept away here in the Seven of Wands in reverse anyway. But it was less of just, that's why I'm saying, like, I feel some other energy. And then with these being this being a wand card, that means that not only was it just verbal expression, like talking shit about this other person or talking shit about whatever the offer was, it was like some action that was taken to further distance himself from the sheer possibility of, you know, like, how dare you type of, you know what I said before, like he had to really drive that point home, I guess more so for his own appearance amongst the crowd than anything, because at the end of the day, like I said, a no thank you could have been a no thank you. Who was it worth to, like, I need to know about that. Like, who was it really worth to prove, like, yeah, you right, you know, I don't like her, and it's because of this, and it's because of that, and, you know, she I could do better, and whatever, like, whatever the case may be. Like, I don't even know why, and that was the Empress card, why that would be necessary unless there was some immediate value in it for him to do so. You know, like, I don't know. I hope you can feel me on this, because it's a little bit strange. I know it's a little out there. So we got the Page of Wands, yet another page. So you telling me it came in another form? So this man, this man had hella chances. It's like, oh, okay. And then here's the feminine here. And the Lover's card, this man literally, and here's the Page of Cups again. And I'm going to pull it out. And here's the 10. This man literally had so many opportunities. This is somebody that had multiple opportunities. What's this? To Chariot card, to move forward on something that would have been holistically fulfilling from the spiritual aspect, as we started with the Page of Cups. And he just completely let his surroundings sway all of his energetic choices. Literally probably got caught up in some dark energy with this 8 of Wands here, or just some overexertion of influence that didn't ultimately have his best interest at heart. They were more, whomever he was surrounded by was more interested in acclimating him into their mindset. This 5 of Pentacles here, that poor mindset of we just chasing money type of energy. And, you know, almost, I would say an elitist mindset, because that's why the Page of Pentacles is here, like this elitist mindset, but it's very false when you see the surrounding energy. That's why I was like, why is the Ace of Pentacles here? That don't even make sense in this energy, because it wasn't real. You know, it was this false energy of elitism and, you know, oh, I'm better than, you know, keeping up with the Joneses was really competition within this establishment of sorts, this friend group, this circle of collaborators, creators, whatever. That was their energy, not only from the outside in. And I feel intuitively that they just used each other as vessels and tools to establish that selfishly for themselves. Very poor-minded, very poor in spirit. But then they also were fighting against each other as well, or competing against one another, all for the purposes of this advancement, again, this unlimited resource or wealth that they were all pursuing. But like I said, it mattered to them for them to kind of turn his energy upside down. First of all, to have been privy to, like I knew I was saying that for a reason, like you should be blessed and feel lucky at least to have even received an offer from the spirit. That says a great deal about you. So he was identified as one, especially coming up in the Emperor energy twice, that was of high value or high prestige in some regard, or at least had the potential to be. Already targeted as someone that they wanted to consume for whatever their, you know, the resource of their conglomerate was. But him having access or being vulnerable to any energy that was outside of this agreement or this mindset or way of being was a potential threat to what was being established here, i.e., him having any type of passion for someone of a higher vibration. Look at the disparity here between the 5 of Pentacles and the Lovers. To have any affinity for someone that might actually pose a threat or a true competition, as if there could be one between the Lovers and the 5 of Pentacles, what needed to be eliminated. So in order for them to eliminate that possibility of imposition, they did it by mentally kind of like manipulating him to feel like they felt, even though they didn't really feel like that, but they kind of projected an idea onto him, as if almost making him feel like he was less than to even be entertained. That's where the disparity is. Like he was less than and perhaps unworthy to even be within this circle if he would even entertain such an offer, such a person, such a possibility. Whole time it's a Lover's vibration though. So it's like he had multiple opportunities to Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, which he turned down because maybe the person, so Page of Cups is like, what could be turned out about that? I feel like that's more him, that's more reflective anyway of him not being in a position to feel like he could really receive or reciprocate real love, because it's a fish in this cup. So how he rejected the offer, either the first one or the first expression of it, was more a projection of what he didn't feel worthy to receive than it was the worthiness of this actual offer itself, or the value of the offer itself. So that's one. Then we got the Page of Pentacles. Maybe perhaps truly in a practical sense, it was too reminiscent of what he's afraid of what reality he's afraid of, which is being poor. Because like I said, the Page of Pentacles is someone that has no value at all. So maybe this is someone that didn't really present herself to be financially stable and secure, or to have it, to at least there was a great disparity between the value that was projected within this group, or this, you know, whatever this immediate opportunity was, than it would be with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. That's like way too much work and investment to need to be done. That's like starting in the negative from his perspective, right? So he probably called himself protecting his own financial integrity or vitality by not taking on, you know, something that would ultimately be a liability. Like say someone that's codependent even, or that would require support, as opposed to somebody that is already established materially, though, mind you, right? And then we have the Page of Wands. Now I'm about to get to the funny part in a minute, because this is what explains the very opposite of everything that he rejected. So then we have the Page of Wands. The offer presents itself again, once again. Now remember, the pages are coming up not because of the nature of what the offer truly is. It's the skewed, jaded perspective that he's receiving it in. Remember, I said that in the beginning with the Page of Cups. It depends on who's receiving it. And now we know that there's been some interference as to why his perception is jaded in the first place. Although he's relented to this interference in some regard, it still can't go without saying that there has definitely been some manipulation here, even if it was just in regards to him wanting to be a part of this group and being perhaps threatened to be outcast. It all comes back. Shout out Andre 3000, to be outcast from it if he didn't go along to get along. Feel me? So the Page of Wands comes back out again. You know, well, Page of Wands comes out. Now, this is a passionate offer, one to explore, express. It's creative. It's small. Again, it's the page, but it can be good news. Again, depending on how you look at it. He saw that as not enough passion for him. Maybe it wasn't exciting enough. It wasn't on the edge of, you know, he's upside down in passion over here. It wasn't taboo enough. It was too safe. It was too secure, you know, vanilla, maybe perhaps, when we're talking about passion and I dare not say intimacy, because he wasn't even down for no intimacy, but it didn't hold the charge of excitement that he was probably getting from whatever was going on where he was at. But the gag is that not only was it more than the Page of Cups, it was the Lovers. Something of, well, first of all, because this is more grounded energy, right, with the Gemini. So there's that first. It was grounded. A grounded opportunity, something of value, something that would have had a promise of prosperity. In reference to the Pentacles, because I'm going to say the Cups for last with this Ten of Cups. In the regards to the Page of Pentacles, well established and secure is the Nine of Pentacles, very content, the opposite of codependent, actually quite independent in her own vitality and her own energy, not relying on anything else outside of her at all. Very content on what she's acquired for herself. And from a spiritual aspect, first and foremost, before it's material, which means that it's sustainable and reliable. So there's that. And then we have the Eight of Wands, which, okay, like the page from the Eight, this is the true nature of the offer, and of which he could not see. He couldn't see the true essence of what he was being offered here for his own inflated ego and for the projection that he was being glamored by. That the Eight of Wands is like relentless passion. It's unlimited passion to some degree, because it's like it's from an ethereal source. So you never know. The impact is so is like so powerful in itself that you never really see it coming. So it was unbeknownst to him. And also it's unlimited. It's like I said, it's from an ethereal source. So it doesn't have an end. You know, it's like dating someone that that never ceases to amaze you in the bedroom. Like there's never a dull night. And that's just primitively so, because we're talking about wands. But coming off of what I said about him, how he regarded the Page of Wands, that's why I'm saying it like this. It's like somebody that you thought was going to be vanilla sex, but lo and behold, it's like BDSM and bondage, and maybe not necessarily, but where you thought it was going to be one thing, it's something completely different. It's like you couldn't even prepare yourself for all of the excitement that you were about to experience. Things you would have never thought this person would be down for. It's like, what? Like that maybe they almost even surpass him in freakiness, or at least in excitement in the passion department. And like I said, it's in a more pure expression. It's not upside down, like literally make you lose your mind and lose your religion type of shit. It's like, this is from an ethereal source, which means that it's blessed, it's ordained, it's all admissible here. Like what do they say? Like what is that? Karma Sutra? Yeah, like it's passionate. It's like, what do you call it? Like it's spiritual intimacy, you know. It's got just as much of the excitement and the sensationalism and sensuality, but it's like something even deeper behind it, and that comes of it, because we know wand energy is action packed, so it's definitely packing that punch of like spiritual sex, you know. So all of that. And last but not least, the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups, of which he originally rejected, and then some, you know, is here again, like, remember me, was actually the 10. It was actually not just the Page at all. It was actually 10 of them bitches. More than what you could have asked for. More happiness and love and life and joy and stability and contentment, because this is more than just, it's more than pinnacle energy. This is the substance and source of all things. When you can acquire this type of vibration in the spirit, you can pretty much materialize anything in the natural, you know. So it's like literally, it's like the dog with the bone type of thing. You know, when a dog sees his reflection in the water and he has a bone in his mouth, but he sees the reflection in the water and he sees like a bigger bone. So he releases that bone to kind of go after it, and then realize like, oh shoot, I had the bone. That reflection was actually an illusion. That's exactly what this shit was. Because you remember the two ending cards that we've had was not only the 10 of Wands, but the 10 of Swords. Great struggle, although it's come to a culmination, is still not without a great casualty being incurred, and great betrayal or sabotage with the 10 of Swords. A huge blow to the mind and the spirit of this man, and the energetic force at that. All from saying, how dare you? Oh, that's funny. Well, I never, and you never will. Still waiting, like, and it's long gone now, because all the pages are out except for the Page of Swords. But all the messages have come and gone at this point. The offers have been made. And now it's like he's still waiting for this opportunity for stability, this advance, he's waiting for this stability to come to him, or he's waiting for what he opted out for, I should say, to become what he had hoped for it to be. And he's going to be waiting for the rest of his damn life. That's the truth. That's the truth. Because it ain't never going to be that. Because it was never supposed to be that. It was an illusion. That's like the dog standing there waiting, looking into the water for another bone to reappear. He had the bone. And here comes the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like once he gets tired of waiting, then he'll go off. Or perhaps the waiting has come this Tower moment, that maybe that's the realization that, oh shoot, it ain't coming. And now it's like, now to try to pick up and go and, you know, make some offer of reconciliation. I'm hearing that, even though it's not a cup, but that's what I feel. It's like a peace offering. That's why I'm hearing that. Like a peace offering back to what he ultimately scoffed at. But first of all, it's the Knight of Pentacles. So it's, and if you're going back to an energy such as this with the 9, it's like, no, that's not the one she waiting on. If you coming back to the 9, you need to at least be coming as a king with that extra 1 to make the 10, or with the ace itself, something of a divine pure nature. Not this delayed, oh, second thought, now I get it type of offer. Because this is an energy here that knows her worth and value because it's been proven to her. And she's not really pressed for partnership one way or the other. Like I said, there's a standard that's already set with the 9 of Pentacles because she's done too much to acquire wealth on her own. And wealth in this case, see, that's why the Pentacles are upside down, because the way that he was looking at wealth was from a material perspective, thinking that it had to be shiny and gold and spendable and cars and shoes and designer clothes and bags and, you know, this, that, and the third. That was all gold, chocolate, gold coins. You know what I mean? Chocolate and gold wrapper type coins. The true Ace of Pentacles is immeasurable from the material world. It's from within. It's expressed from a spiritual nature through an energetic being that can first be a vibrational match to receive it. So that's why their 9 of Pentacles is here, because you have to already have been positioned yourself energetically to be a conduit for such an energy. For the spirit to say that I'm going to give you the unlimited seed, the one that this is somebody that has like a wealth of ideas, visions. She's always inspired. She's always thinking about something new to expand into, not like restlessly so, you know, it's not necessarily wand energy, it's grounded, it's pentacles, but that there's always something fertile flowing through her energetic field, you know, where she may start one business and then maybe expand the product line or figure out a way to add a service to that or collaborate with another creator or brand and expand their reach both together. That's the energy of the 9 of Pentacles in the practical sense, not just somebody sitting around toiling around in her garden twiddling her thumbs. This is somebody that just breathes and creates something because she's always in the intention of creativity, because it's a spiritual nature of her, because her mind toward productivity is a prosperous one, to bring things to life that actually have value, not that are fleeting and gratifying to the senses. For what purpose, question mark. It's things that actually have longevity and make an impactful influence in the world, in the material world, from a spiritual force, from a spiritual source. That's why she materializes that way. But he didn't have the eyes to see that, or at least the eye. He ain't had no third eye at all. But his third eye was probably calcified with all the corruption that he had surrounded himself with. And that was the intention, exactly. To keep his third eye calcified, his intention, his intuition dimmed, so that he couldn't see the difference between what was actually really good and what was foul right in front of him. It was all an illusion, like the dog with the bone. Chasing fame and fortune, doing what the crowd, like he aligned himself with people that he thought would help get him to the bag. They all had a mutual interest in acquiring this wealth and success and prestige and power. Everything that was glimmering, you know, all the things that glimmer like gold, but aren't actually, you know, because they can be diminished and can depreciate in value the minute that, literally depreciate in value the minute that you either do something that is not palatable to the masses. Think back onto the energy with Andre 3000. he could have stayed on the trajectory with Outkast and even his own solo career, and probably could have cranked out some more hits or things like that. But his spirit was leading him elsewhere, and perhaps that was the contention as to why he stepped off in the first place, knowing how pretentious the business is and how, you know, how the fans will love you one moment and hate you the next. That's what happens when you stock your treasures up in external affirmation, is that it depreciates in value because that's how you measured yourself. So therefore you depreciate in value. But him being able to have the courage to say like, nah, I ain't feeling it, which is ultimately what he says. Like, I don't feel like I have nothing to talk about in rap. People think I'm just sitting on rhymes, but I don't feel the same passion to rap as I do to pick up my flute. That's honest, you know? And therefore, he might just outdo his own expectations beyond what the critics have to say that want him to still be Dre, you know. But he might actually supersede his expectations or even popular opinion because he's doing it from the heart. That's the energy, as in the Nine of Pentacles, that is everlasting, that will reach people that can really relate to the energy that he's projecting because it's authentic, and it will be eternally permeating and sustainable because it's valued from a different measurement. You know, it's from the spirit, not from the physical plane, you know, and that's this energy here. So it's like he built up this tower with these folks that they were all supposed to be going to the top, and perhaps they did, because that's the implication here, that there was definitely some achievement made and some success that was obtained. But as I'm saying, it didn't last long. It didn't last the magnitude of the energy that it took to create it. I'll say that. I can say that confidently, because it never does when you're building it in this regard, in this spirit. It's never worth it. You get to the top of the pyramid only to realize that the view wasn't what you thought it was going to be. You're depressed. You're lonely. You don't feel like you can trust the people that you got there with. Even the material things don't satisfy you nearly as much as they used to. You can only go so many places in that car feeling depressed before you realize that it's just you going everywhere you go. You get to the point where your house even becomes a damn prison because you don't want to go home there, either because you're lonely or because you're returning there with people that you don't even care to spend your time with. Going to parties that once used to feel like, you know, used to feel important to be invited, and now it's like you don't even enjoy yourself. Can't wait to leave type of thing. But then again, you don't really want to leave because you don't want to go home and be reminded of how depressed you are. You know, it's just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Only what you do for Christ and you will last. And that's not a religious statement. It's a spiritual one, but it's much more even energetic than it is spiritual, because you could strip it down, as I have already, to your own integrity of what really truly brings you peace and happiness and contentment. And this is somebody that had really all of that at his fingertips at one point in time, and the Magician card here, and the ability to magnify it really and truly. I mean, hell, he spent all his energy and time building the tower in the Magician energy, making something out of nothing in an illusion of resources. That energy would have been more well invested in things that were lasting, that were of substance. Who even knows what he could have had at this point? You know, there was a 10 of Pentacles. Let me just get a few more and then we out. 5 of Cups, depression. 7 of Cups, confusion. 9 of Swords. There's that house again. 4 of Wands. There's a commitment that he made. That was the choice he took with the 2 of Cups. And there's the Tower, that it ain't all it's cracked up to be now. That's too many. Chariot card again. What was that? I got a stain on these cards. All right, 3 more, Spirit, and I'm out of here. There's the House again. Okay. Is there any more to say? Yeah, okay. All right, the 4 of Pentacles. And then here we got the Queen. It's like he's still holding on to the chance of finding that high value partnership that is what he thought he was getting. That's what he thought he had. You know, like he thought he had somebody that was on his level. But she ain't out here, okay? This is the Queen of Pentacles here. And he's still holding on to hope to connect with that energy, or I don't know what he's holding. He might just be holding on to resources at this point with all these bad choices made. He might not even have the energy to think about another person, but it is definitely given that he could be holding on to, you know, the choices, the sheer possibility of the, well, no, it's resources. Yeah, because this is Spirit now confronting him, and he's still, it's like he's still holding on to material measurement. And now Spirit is here like, hello, are you willing to see the truth of all this now? Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is out here, the Empress, what's this, the 8 of Swords? Yep, 8 of Swords. Still thinking that there's a chance to make something shake. When Spirit is here trying to draw him into the illumination of his own truth, trying to pierce that heart space, and he's still holding the coin there. I don't know. Wow. The High Priestess and I really just want one more here. The High Priestess and the Strength card. This is how the energy it's like while he was off doing what he was doing, you know, chasing a dream, rejecting the reality, really chasing the fantasy, rejecting the reality. It was growing. It's like it was appreciating with value. That's what was happening. Like his lot has depreciated even from the 5 to the 4. It's dropped. It's like where he was afraid to be, or perhaps to return to, it's even worse than what he was afraid to feel in the first place. And now he's feeling entitled to some, I can't even say second chance, because he has so many chances at this point that Spirit is like, man, you didn't scoff. And that's what I get. It was like, yeah, and this is what he submitted himself to. This is the competition within that group that I was talking about from this upside down 7 of Wands. It's like Spirit is what was calling all along through these invitations, through these offers. That it was like, nah, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. It was a gateway to what his heart truly desired, but he was too fixated on what his ego desired to have the courage to follow it, to stand alone, to stand out amongst the crowd, to stand his ground and say, nah, I don't want to do it that way. Or even if it was a matter of like, yeah, maybe it's still not for me. But if he wouldn't have been swept into, you know, the bullshit with the rest of the crew, of actually admonishing the offer, the love offer as it turned out to be, and putting it down, or, you know, a hardcore rejection in somehow spirit and in truth, because there was some action taken that I ain't getting to, but it don't even matter, because it really was more a detriment to him than it was to that person anyway, when it comes down to it. But if he had just allowed that to be an honest, like, no, thank you, it would have illuminated his perspective to actually see what was around him. Like, yo, like, I don't really feel that way about her. You know what I mean? Like, so do I really want to be around people that could act that way toward another person? Do I really want to, subject myself to this type of vibration of energy? He didn't see that value. He saw more the opportunity for the big payday and the advancement. And that's how you sell your soul ultimately, when you suppress the spirit for the material reward or return. That's what was done here. That's why he's upside down. The minute you do that, everything is derailed. And these were the offers. It was like it was evolving whole time and presenting itself again and again. Perhaps not in one person, maybe perhaps in many. He had many different opportunities to change his perspective, to release himself from the clutches of whatever this dark path was, and to find the light again, find the light within himself. And he just kept holding on. He kept holding on. Yeah, and seven of wands. Yep, this was the spirit calling to this balance and harmony and peace. The ultimate, as a matter of fact. It would have alchemized not just the way that it would have alchemized his life experience from the origins, which is where this is now, from that Page of Cups vibration, as to why he felt he needed to reject love in the first place. Because remember, he wasn't getting over on himself. He wasn't getting over on the offer. He was getting over on himself. So where he thought he was kind of playing the offer left, or playing the person or whatever it was left, I strongly feel like this was a love offer. Let me just say that. But he could have had it in multiple ways. It didn't have to just be one thing. But the regressive perspective is the one that got away, more or less, that would have ultimately inspired the best in him and not the worst of him. That's what the spirit was calling him to. The one that would have, allowed him to see, like, why am I so resistant to pure love? Because that's what this is in the Four of Cups. It's like he's resisting that pure form of love for the things that all look alike. The Three of Cups over there in the grass. Like, I want that over there. And the Three of Cups, and the card in itself, is celebration. It could even, it could be an overindulgence in celebration to the point of distraction. And that's what he wanted to, indulge in, rather than have to face the possibility of commitment, dare I say, evolving for the reception of love, even from the divine perspective. If we're strictly just talking about that, someone that really was just being called to his higher self, the invitation might have been coming through an actual living being or person or an opportunity, but it was spirit all along calling him to heal and to find the truth of his divine nature. And he rejected in every way that he was looking for it. Spirit presented itself to him, and he still rejected it to the bitter end. To this point now, where he's still holding on to these pentacles and still looking to hit a lick elsewhere. Missing the mark, man. And so here's the Hermit card calling him into this balance and peace and harmony within his life, even amidst all these he's experienced still, but certainly from that original point of healing that obviously was forfeited here at the very top, and probably at a young age where the infraction occurred, I'm sure, because that's how it happens for all of us. Here was the invitation to be whole again. But alas, it doesn't seem like he's taking it. Instead, he sees this opportunity to still get over on. This is like energy that's evolved now even more so to now a spirit. This is someone that's ascended. Let's just call it what it is. The High Priestess with the Strength card, she had the same invitation in her own regard. And he, in some way, shape, or form, was the gateway for that as well. But it was just two different perspectives of reception. Two different choices of trajectory that were made. One took the road to debauchery, and the other one took the road to healing. And each one of them has had their highs and lows, no doubt, but it comes down to what was the long lasting result of prosperity. Because that's what was pursued in both regards, like stability, prosperity, all that good stuff. It was never a passion, all of it was desirable on all accounts, but it was the steps that each was willing to take to get there as to how they reach that destination and how ultimately they're able to sustain it even at this point. Let's see what this is. Damn. Well, this is where he's at. A wounded warrior, looking at his past actions of where he went wrong, wishing that he had done something different, whatever the last, considering his, not just his last ditch effort to get over on life, but everything, now considering every which way, he decided to go against his spirit here with the Seven of Swords in reverse, and where that has led him to this point. That's what this energy is. It wasn't worth it in the end, is what it comes down to. It could only be worth the lesson at this point, is if willing to receive it, That's one thing it can always be good for, but even still, you got to be willing to receive it and to actually take the Spirit's invitation to do something different. See yourself differently, have a new outcome. So, yeah, I don't know. Pardon me. Yeah, so that's that. I will post that interview if you care to see it in the comments or in the description below. And again, let it just be a sign of living truth and in integrity, so that, the idea I feel overall is to just be able to look back over, even in the wounded warrior positions, because we've all had some experiences now. It's not to look down on anyone or feel like you're better than anyone because you made a different choice than another. But the hope is to be able to look over your experiences and see the value of the lessons that you've learned along the way, and to see the evolution of your growth on account of those lessons and experiences. Not to look back with regret and remorse because you wish you would have done something different, even when you had every opportunity to do so. And that's what's so hard in separating from regret and remorse, when you can vividly see the opportunities that were so clear to lead you on a different path, and you got in your own way. I'm not saying that regret and remorse is the ideal reflective perspective, because I don't believe that it is, no matter where you are presently and no matter what your reflection is. I still feel like it should be about counting your wins, releasing your losses, and projecting some prominence for the future, something prosperous, something hopeful to look forward to from all that you know now, no matter what. That is my stance, no matter what, okay? But it can't be lost on an energy such as this, and there are many. This is just the expression of this one energy, that now are perhaps even looking back in this moment at opportunities that were dismissed with, aggressively dismissed, and with prejudice is what I was trying to get out, with prejudice, to live a life that was meaningful, and it all came from the choices, each engagement of the choices that were presented to us along the way. Not one big choice, one big shebang, not just one thing that you were proud that you did, but how you engaged experiences at each step along your path, and had the intention to be in integrity along the way. Even if you may have misstepped or wished that, perhaps if you had a do-over, you might have done something different. I don't really have many of those. I'm not even going to lie. Even the worst of my encounters, I wouldn't do over at this point, because I know that in every experience that I've had, with the information that I had in that moment, I was still operating in the integrity of what I truly wanted to do. There were perhaps projections and interferences that were responsible for swaying that vibration and that choice, unbeknownst to me in many ways, and in my subconscious, absolutely. But what I consciously surrendered and submitted myself to, I can proudly say was of my decision, was within the power of my own choices. It's only reflectively that I look back and I'm like, okay, well, if I had known such and such, then I may have done such and such. You know what I mean? But holistically, every person I've encountered, every relationship I've had, every friend I've acquired, every enemy that I've acquired, every experience that I've created or agreed to myself, every activity I participated in, every place that I traveled to or put myself in the space of, I feel grateful for the experience as it was, and for the wisdom, the power in my choices to be me no matter what I was in the experience of. No matter what, I was always being me. Some of the people that I've encountered can't really say that about themselves. Some of the places may have been illusionary. Some of the experiences may have been interferences, perhaps. But me, Danae, I was always just being who I felt called to be in that present moment, with all the knowledge and wisdom that I had acquired up until that moment, honestly, and always with the intention to do no harm to anyone or anything. Always. I can say that without any type of second guess, or it's just what it is. So therefore, I don't really have the reflection of looking back, feeling sorry for myself or ashamed or in regret or in remorse, because no matter how the situation turned out, the person, the place, or the thing, I was just being me. And I'm going to always be me. I'm never going to bow down to what anyone else is pressuring me to be or do or to have, ever, especially now knowing all that I know now. That will never be the case. Anything that I agreed to do or be in this lifetime will be within my power of choice, period. And I feel like that's the immeasurable seed. That's the value of such as a Nine of Pentacles. When you know that you are responsible for your energy, no matter where it goes and no matter what it encounters, that responsibility is all within your power. Nothing can really depreciate that from the outside in or the inside out. It's invaluable. It's priceless. So I pray that you cultivate that energy for yourself, or maintain it if you can agree, for sure, because no matter what the outside external projections may be, societally, intimately, and everything in between, that will always be the most valuable resource in this earth. Independence, vitality in spirit and in truth, sovereignty, dare I say, in spirit and in truth. So I pray that you are rich beyond measure in that regard, really and truly. So it is so. All right, so thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, peace.